I'm going to be on for at least a little while. Want to talk a little bit, well, I want to talk about a lot of stuff going on right now. First off, tomorrow, and this is a big thing, is the Lucas or the Disney earnings call. And it's going to be a bad one. It's going to be ugly. I can predict that right now. That's not a difficult thing to really kind of put out there. It's an easy prediction. Hey, Justin. So they're going to talk about probably losing streaming numbers. You know, profit, loss, gain, whatever. I'm going to say this because this is a rule, not an exception. Do not think Iger is going to say anything about Lucasfilm. Now, I know now because Lord Tornaga has been talking to Mr. Fox. Those are my code names for these guys. And I know now that Hollywood knows there's something going on at Lucasfilm. Okay, now I have asked Matt Bellany to go in there and San Pellegrino water. I've asked Matt Bellany to look into it, and he will get back to you, but you know, I think it depends. I think it's one of those things where you're kind of going, you know, he's not going to get, look, Matt Bellany being a reporter, a journalist, will not defy Iger because he wants the contacts. Okay, it's like going to somebody in the middle of this issue at Lucasfilm and asking for the dirt. They're not going to tell you. They're going to probably allude to it, like what happened with Mr. Fox, but they're not going to tell you straight out what's going on. Now, we know because of the people leaking to Doomcock, and of course, Mr. Sparrow, Ms. Sparrow, they Sparrow, that there is something going on. The person that Mr. Fox kind of was talking to basically confirmed it, okay, which is great. I don't think that's going to happen, just some other guy. In fact, there's going to have to be a reckoning because I don't see how a lot of that makes any sense at that particular channel when people are getting kind of fed up with it, if you know what I mean. It doesn't, you know, money is money. Hey, Pocket. So what do we do? I mean, what's going to happen? We have to wait. I mean, tomorrow I'm going to be here. I'm going to put I'm going to have you guys on. I'm going to have the earnings meeting on one phone, and I'll be here. We'll be listening, and we'll be kind of discussing what is going on. You know, I think there are black pills that think if they burn Disney down, like they can, and what they want to see is Iger go, because they think somehow making Iger go will make everything better. And you know, I'm not going to buy that. Bob Iger, through actions, has admitted hiring these woke fuckers was wrong. Okay. He's admitted that. All right. And he's stuck with Kennedy, likely because she can't be fired for cause. But let's get into it. let's talk about the Acolyte. So we've got Brian. BlackRock isn't the biggest investor at Disney anymore, right? I don't want to hear about BlackRock anymore, okay? Just sit back, zip it, okay? I'm not here to discuss which are conspiracy theories. BlackRock, when there are other hedge funds that have more to do with Disney than they do, okay? All right. God, I'm so sick of hearing about that. I want to vomit. Anyway, so if we look at the notice of Gazette that Company's House, London, that they hadn't paid their licensing fees. On the 20th of June, they did. Okay, so it was about a month before it was going to go to the Crown. And first off, my theory is Disney paid it, not her. And just some other guys, right? Okay. And the reason why is because they're investigating. Where'd the money come from? Now, I have compared what's going on at Lucasfilm with the shenanigans with the corporate credit cards. Corporate credit cards, et cetera. This has to do with money. But with Headland, I'm looking at something a little, a lot more sinister. Okay, so they had $50 million that they said in the books. When you look at what they spent was a little over $52 million. All right, so they were behind the 8 ball. When you look at what they have at the end, they've got like $8,000, about $15,000 on the books for Blue Stocking. All right, why, if they had that much money, does it appear that Karen McCarthy only got $5,000 to go away? They had given her a few $100,000 to $500,000, hell, $1 million. She would have been happy to go away, but they did not, and now they're being sued. Now, we can't look to see what's going on with that lawsuit. I'm sure that Disney is now taking it over, trying to come up with a solution to the problem. Here's my thing, okay? $5,000 is chump change. I mean, I'm sure she's got a Prada bag that she carries everywhere with her that costs as much. Or, a Birkin, okay, which is like $30,000, but whatever. It really amazes me that people are not going, what? And I know people, the guys that are digging through the Lucasfilm and doing investigations there are wondering what the fuck. Where in the hell did the money come from? Okay, was part of it Kennedy's discretionary account? Let me explain. $50 million is a very expensive pilot. They said they made a show for $50 million. All right, a Star Wars TV show, let's see, 8 episodes. Was that Mandalorian was $12 million an episode? That's like well over $100 million. Okay. The only pilot that actually would beat this, if it's an actual pilot, and we've only heard that it's a 3-episode sizzle reel, is the Game of Thrones. There's a Game of Thrones show that was $60 million, and that got shelved because it was bad. Okay, and Disney doesn't really do pilots like that, and they're not going to let someone like Leslie Headland write, direct, and produce and show run a show because she's not, she's not Taylor Sheridan. She's not. In fact, she'll never be there. She'll never be up there. So everything that we know about the Acolyte goes against Disney policy. Now, let's go into this. What did Iger know? Iger knew that there was an Acolyte. He probably told Kennedy, "We're not giving you the green light." Hi, Carlos. He probably she said, "Fuck it." I mean, look. That came from my friend Dan, Justin. Bob Chapek, and when you're looking at the timeline about when McCarthy was hired, then fired, Bob Chapek was going through the get woke, go broke thing with Reimagine Tomorrow. But when you look at Kennedy's actions, again, actions speak louder than words, even for women, ladies and gentlemen. When you look at Kennedy's actions, I'm going to say this. They're stunningly against what she was advised to do by Disney. No, we're not giving you the green light. I actually, Sci-Fi Universe, I think so too. But let me finish this. So Kennedy goes in, talks to Chapek. Chapek says no. And because, look, 2022, that was when all the stuff with Reimagine Tomorrow was going on. That was when Chapek embarrassed himself. That summer, he got his contract renewed for another, hey, Wintrell, for another 3 years. And then he was fired. And she went on her 40-day vacation. What I want to say is the reason why I think that they were told no, and so they went to plan B, is because they hired McCarthy, they're told no. Kennedy says, "Look, I want to make this. What can we do about it?" Headland says, "I've got an idea." She reaches back into her memory bank for Harvey Weinstein bullshit. Yeah, they were playing chicken with a brick wall. And they basically decided they had to keep it. And the Cone of Trust fired McCarthy. McCarthy asks to be paid. And if they honestly did at the time have $50 million, they could have given her, $500,000, $1 million, $2 million to go away. All right. They didn't. And then we've got this. And I really think that the McCarthy lawsuit is the thing that really makes you go. Because when you look at the licenses for filming in the UK and other places, it's sort of choppy, haphazard. There's really no, see, here's the deal. I don't know if they actually applied for tax credits. Okay, I think this could end up, if it was nothing more than a sizzle reel and they did, and they got money back, that they could actually be held liable for defrauding the British government too. Okay, because it was never a show. Let's go through the timeline. I'm told by a guy who knew the art director for The Acolyte, stop laughing, that they were in the middle of filming episode 3 in late December. So bullshit. He got mad at me and ran away. Okay, fine, fuck him. Then we get to Star Wars Celebration, and Headland says, "Oh, um, we're in the middle of filming episode 4. How long exactly did it take you to finish episode 3? Okay, that was in December. This is in April. Okay, kind of weird. Um, Unless, episode 3 is a 3-hour movie. Okay, I don't, you know. So then, a month later, they announced they're in the middle of filming episode 5, and then Headland on IMDb posts that it wrapped, and that's in post production. What? See, they can't even lie well. Okay, because even I've never set foot on a Hollywood, Disney streaming show set. But I have friends who have. I have friends who are in the business. Lord Toranaga, Cameron, etc. And the timeline to them is hilarious. I mean, it is like the reason why we say we don't believe that this is a real show is the $5,000 to Karen McCarthy if they had 50 million to do whatever. And again, where'd the money come from? Because Disney didn't give it to them. Okay, now let's get into what Disney is responsible for. Regardless of how you feel about Bob Iger, he's the guy that we're dancing with. And was he culpable? Well, pretty sure that he also told Kennedy we're not going to do the Acolyte. But, and this is a stupid thing for him to do, he allowed her to go off and pretend like she had something to do so he could keep her out of Jon Favreau's hair. Okay. I do believe Favreau did tell Iger, if you don't keep her away from me, I'm going to quit. I do believe that. And the reason simply is it makes sense. Look, Kathleen Kennedy is batshit crazy. Okay, we all know that. But it's past time for us to admit that she is. Okay, so what else can we think here? What is Disney responsible for? The fact that Lucasfilm was run like a poorly run mafioso crime family. They're taking the corporate credit card and $5,000 that executive assistant let himself or herself get fired rather than flip on their boss or Kennedy. And they might end up getting prosecuted for it. That's a felony. Okay, that's embezzlement. All right, you can't take money from the company. All right, and when you look at what Sparrow has said, it sounds like everybody in the story group, not ILM, not Skywalker Sound, but this part of Lucasfilm was doing something really criminal in my opinion. You don't steal money from the company, period, full stop. You just don't. And that is, that, and Kennedy allowed it. All right, she probably didn't know they were doing it. Wouldn't surprise me that she didn't know that they were doing it. Okay, and the reason why is because it fits her MO. Okay, it fits her who she is and what she is. And the fact that it took Iger this long to finally set the dogs on her is what? You know, why didn't you do it last year? Why didn't you do it in 2018? When it was patently obvious that Kojak K. Janicek could do a better job running Lucasfilm than Kathleen Kennedy. Okay, Kojak is a Shiloh shepherd who's basically probably got the IQ of a genius compared to her. And he's got morals. Okay, she does not. The fact that she allowed stuff like that to happen would infuriate the fuck out of me if I was Bob Iger. I'd be doing this. You know, but here we are. And I don't know. You kind of sit there and you go, you don't know what to say. So ultimately, Iger is responsible because he let it go on too long. Okay. Now, why aren't we going to hear anything about it till maybe after the earnings call? Guys, let it go. Just let it go. That stuff with those guys is over. Let's find out. Let's go here. Let's see, where are Disney shares? Okay. Lower today. Much lower today. So that is bad. Okay, that is not good. It's really kind of scary because if they, decide to get rid of Iger right before he gets rid of Kennedy, we could see her. I mean, it's quite possible that she could get away with it. But again, I think somebody coming in new may look at her and say, I'm not doing business with you anymore. You broke your contract, get out. That could happen. Okay. So look, Yoda always says the future is always in motion. Always in motion, the future it is. Okay. And we have to look at it that way. Tomorrow at 4:30, we're going to be sitting here like this, listening for an hour. And we're not going to learn anything about Lucasfilm. But I want people to understand that even if he doesn't say Lucasfilm out loud, he will talk about Ahsoka, which I personally can't wait to see. He will talk about maybe the Skeleton Crew, which is done filming. They're in post-production, unless I had to freeze it because of the strike. It's very interesting to me. It's going to be very interesting watching as we go forward where this is going to go. Okay. Yep. Earning call tomorrow. And stocks were down to 86. And they're about 86.27 right now. So it's not good. This is ugly. And look, Disney itself is on fire right now. I think he is going to be sweating bullets. Okay. Look, the board, it's not the board. The board of directors should be very worried. Okay. It's not just Iger, the entire board of directors, because, Kennedy's done no matter what. I mean, the fact that she can't use her email, that she's not allowed anywhere near Lucasfilm physically, She's done. She's out. What I wish she would do is show some brass ovaries and give it up. Okay. All right. I think she should just bow out quietly. Just say, hey, give me $10 million and I'll leave. All right. Be very chastened, humbled, and embarrassed. Because, look, if she's embarrassed about what happened, that goes a hell of a lot, and ashamed, that goes a hell of a lot further than pretending like she had nothing to do with any of this, which is what she normally does, right? So, you know, and Headland, was it a week ago Friday? She had her first meeting with the Five Horsemen, and they basically said, "We know what you were doing. You know, you can give up Kennedy, whatever." See, again, I think Iger was letting Kennedy play with the Acolyte to keep her away from John and Dave, and it got out of hand. And had look, now I'm going to bring up this. Lucasfilm doesn't own Star Wars. Disney owns Star Wars. Now, if they were told no, we're not doing this, and Headland with Kennedy's okay got some ill-gotten millions to film something to call it Star Wars, The Acolyte, that's stealing an IP, that's stealing intellectual property, that's copyright violation, and God knows what else. So you've got perhaps defrauding the British government. You've got them stealing an IP. Because look, who pays for the streaming shows and the movies? Disney, right? Kennedy has a small discretionary account. How much money did she give Headland out of that? Because she had to have. But where'd the rest of the money come from? She didn't have $50 million to spend. Okay, and I'm sorry, but if Chapek said no and Iger said no, you're not going to, we're not okaying this, and they went ahead anyway without permission, that is an IP violation. Okay, so this is just a quagmire of bullshit, you know? And of course, if they went to the British government and said, we're filming a TV show, and they got tax incentives for it, and all they did was film a sizzle reel, that's fraud. Right there, that's fraud. Stolen IP, copyright, and again, there's a smoking gun. So exactly, how did Leslie Headland with the pittance? Because look, there are records at Lucasfilm saying that 50,000 euros was given to Blue Stocking here and there. Okay, from Lucasfilm, but that's it. So where'd you get the rest of the money? And here we come with the obvious smoking gun that was discovered. Hey, David. Oh, cool. We'll see where it goes. Now remember, they basically have to say to Kathy, we've got you connected to this criminal activity, and we could go to the LA County District Attorney and turn over all the evidence, and they can, prosecute you, or you can leave. Now, if we get a message, and I'm not going to say it's happening because I'm done predicting any of this shit, but if it comes out that she has resigned, that's what happened. They gave Kennedy a choice. You can either get prosecuted or you can leave. You violated your contract, the morals clause. There you go. I mean, look, when I see a morals clause, here it is. It's Kennedy's found in bed with a little girl or a little boy, and I mean a minor child, or there has something to do with criminal activity with the bunny. You know, and that's, look, it's really weird. People are weird. If children are involved, or you get a moral issue, Kevin Spacey, people are more upset in the business if they're getting shined on and robbed than they are if someone gets raped. Okay, money, all right. And if Disney sees that they've been robbed, there you go. I don't agree, Kyle. Saving Lucasfilm is worth it. All right. It used to be the greatest studio in Hollywood. And like anything else can be fixed. Okay. There's no reason, when people are so negative that, they go, oh, we don't need to save Lucasfilm. Why wouldn't you want to save Lucasfilm? Why wouldn't you? Star Wars without Lucasfilm doesn't make any sense. Okay. You know, so, we don't, but back to what I was saying, if there's a morals clause violation and Kennedy knows she's done, she will go, I'm done. Let me go. And that's the end of it. Okay. Because I mean, look, Iger wants her gone. Steven Spielberg will not talk to her. You know, won't talk to Frank either. Okay. That's how bad it's gotten. Look, that's how badly that fucking bitch has hurt George's legacy, Harrison Ford's legacy, Steven Spielberg's legacy. Okay, not to mention, Mark Hamill. All right, not to mention Mark. And the idea that Steven Spielberg shouldn't be pissed off is bullshit. Anyway, so tomorrow I'm gonna be here getting ready for the earnings report, and we will all see where it goes. Okay, so this is Steph setting out. We've got more confirmation that something is going on at Lucasfilm. I'll see you around the galaxy.